Good afternoon. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi. This is Dr. Mobi, and we have great guests tonight. Actually, Manish Sood, he's an international star himself, promoter, and he does a lot of business with stars, Hollywood, Bollywood, and we'll discuss with him his current situation. But before we do that, I'll just like to point out to all my audience, national, international, that with the corona pandemic, it has really taught a lot of good and bad things. Good things in a sense that when people ask, what will be the normal, do we want to go back to normal? And I tell them, if the normal was to go back to this hatred and lack of care for each other and self-driven motives and never pay attention to our family, friends, then I'm sorry, this is the opportunity nature has given us to actually appreciate our health as well as family, as well as friends. And this is a new fabric. And we really need to put this fabric and make best use for everyone. And so there's a good and bad thing about this. Yes, we have to fight, but it has really blurred all the lines of different things which separated us. So if it was religion, it was black, white. Virus does not discriminate any of them. They is going to infect all of us. And in this fight, we are all together. So, with these words, I welcome my guest, Manish. Welcome you, and tell us
Thank you, Dr. Mobi.
about yourself to audience.
So, thank you first of all, Dr. Mobi, to getting me online. It has been quite a different situation that we are right now today. We have never been in this situation, I think, for such a long time, ever. Not even in wars or World War, we had seen such a thing. So this is a very fairly new experience. So my name is Manish Sood. I own Intense Entertainment Company. It's an entertainment company. I also own an Intense DMV marketing company. We do Indian and Desi events over here in the DMV area. We do
Mhm.
a lot of concerts. We do a lot of events. And obviously, as you know, my business has been hit. One of the
Mhm.
most hit business is event organizing and
Mhm.
event concert business has been hit.
Mhm.
So I don't see at least till 2020 end we'll be back in business. I don't see this year at least any of the big concerts coming up. So we might do small events, but nothing bigger. So, but with this situation, everyone has to take it because we don't have a choice here. So we have to make the most of it. That's what we are doing too.
Mm. So that is true. That first is, a lot of people were first in denial. They know this is not true, or there's something wrong about it, and we'll pass through this. But now that denial phase is more into acceptance. Yes, we are here, and we have to fight this. And you're right. There's a new reality. Whether it's a business, medical, or whether whichever way we take it, this is the new reality, and that is sinking in. So first is to how to fight it, and that we did isolation. By the way, how was the isolation experience?
Well, as I said, this was the first time we had an experience. First of all, I do work from home,
Mhm.
so my so there's a lot of common what I'm doing right now and what I used to do.
Mhm.
So my office is in my home, so I didn't have that much of an impact. But yes, because we are not able to meet other people, even though I had a work from home office, but I
Mhm.
was constantly meeting people every day. There were meetings, they were lined up, events were happening. There were so many other vendors who are meeting. Those are all gone. So everything is now being done online. So that's a quite of a change. We humans are social animals, as we say. For
Mhm.
us, being confined in one room is like mental torture. So you are physically tortured and you're mental tortured. So it's not very easy to convert yourself and to immediately indulge in this situation. So we are taking our time. And as you rightly said, first we were not accepting this. Oh, it's a small virus. It's like a flu. It'll go away. People were not bothered. People were still going out. I was still going to my gym
Oh,
every day till the gym get closed. So, and then one fine day, I got an email from my gym that two people were tested positive at the
oh,
time and the days when I was going to the gym.
mm,
So, and that actually hit me.
mm,
That was something which struck me that, listen, I mean, I really need to stop. I
mm,
really need to stop going outside. And so it became slow. It was a slow process to adapt it. But now I think towards the end of April, we have all adapted the situation and we have accepted it that, yes, this is a pandemic and this is something serious. So
okay.
that situation has been done. Yeah.
Uh, and tell me about some of the isolation techniques which help you to kind of adapt to that, because I'm sure there's one thing, before that, family would say, okay, well, you're working from home, and then now we are there all the time. So tell me some of the experience, which you learned with isolation and that
True.
you.
So, Dr. Saab, what happened is we don't have a choice. We have to be at home. We have to be confined in these four walls. And fortunately for us living in America, we have big houses,
Yeah.
as compared to people living in India and Pakistan,
Mm,
where we have, or any other South Asian countries, where we have small apartments
mm,
and where a lot of people, 5 to 6 family members, live in small apartments. But we have big houses, we have individual rooms, we have an entertainment room, we have kitchen area, we have family room. So for us, still being in this house is not that kind of a punishment what we can feel for people who are, many people living in one room. Um, Coming back to your question was, what did we learn? So once we don't have a choice, human beings adapt themselves very, very fast and very nicely. And we started adapting to this situation where we have to get up in the morning. We don't have to go out anywhere. We are confined in our house.
mm.
So what we can do positive? Initially, there was a phase of depression. I'll be
Oh,
very honest with you. It
yeah.
was, oh my God, I can get coronavirus. There was a fear. When you are constantly living with fear, you go into a state of depression, and then your life seems to be miserable because you always, even you are scared of even touching your own faucet or a handle,
Mm,
thinking, what if I get infected by virus?
yeah.
So first we have to understand the concept that it is not just by touching anything. You have that place have to be touched by someone who has COVID
Yeah.
infection 19. You have to have come to a close proximity. Even if you are standing with a person at a quite a distance who has coronavirus, and you still cannot get affected if you're far away. If you are at a close distance for a longer period of time, and if the person is coughing and you're touching him,
Mm,
that's a probability you would get COVID. So things like these slowly started coming into our brains that, okay, this is how it is. So the worst part was the social media. I'll be very honest. The
yeah.
myths which was going on, the news which was going on, which was so confusing. I think even the news media or the social media were not knowing exactly what was happening. So
Yeah.
reading all that, looking at the news every day in the morning was putting you into more pressure and depression.
Yeah.
So the first thing which I did, and everyone has a different lifestyle, and I don't recommend what I'm doing, but I stopped watching social media and news, anything related to COVID 19 for a very longer period of time in the day. Yes, I would open the news and watch it for some time,
Mm,
and then I will just let it go. And then I will start concentrating on my day as if it's just a normal day. If you start taking this day as a normal day, your day will pass by and you will still see positiveness. But if you keep thinking about deaths happening and all the negatives that has been shown on the media, you
mm,
will never be able to come out of depression, or you will never be able to come out of this situation. So what I started doing is I started concentrating more on my work, started taking some courses online. I
mm,
am into a marketing field.
Mm.
I have intense DMV as a marketing company, so
Yeah.
I took some marketing courses. I had a huge database. I have a database which I did not know myself till now,
Mm.
which because it was sorted out in different portals. There was an email database, there was a phone call database, there was a database of people buying tickets, database when we go to events and collect data. There was the data was all over. First thing which I did in the first 7 days of my what say lockdown
Mm.
was to accumulate all the data into one portal.
Mm.
Now I can see I have 36,000 people's database living in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Mm.
So it was all, so that was very constructive for me, for my business in the future. So it gave me something very positive thing to think that, look, I can use this time, I can utilize this time to
Mm.
become more stronger. So when situation gets over, when we finally get a vaccine for this,
Mm.
and after vaccine, I think it will take me about 90 days to know that it's fully operational. And then we will come back with twice the flow. You know how we are like a spring. When we keep compressing it, when we release it, we jump up.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready, and a lot of people should do the same thing. Get ready for things to get normal so that you can come up. Secondly, because of multiple events, I do about 8 to 10 events in a year. Each event takes a lot of toll, both mentally and physically,
Yeah.
financially also.
Mm.
So now, since I don't have events, which is not a very good thing for my business, but since I don't have a choice, I started concentrating on my health. I
Mm.
mean, morning exercise, evening exercise. Since we are at home, might as well do twice. You know, why to keep it once? So
Yeah.
do some yoga, do some physical training, join some classes. And nowadays, a lot of fitness centers are giving you free classes.
Mm.
My own gym that I had joined, since I cannot go to the gym, they are giving us free online courses, online classes. There is Zumba class, there is another yoga class which is fit. Meditation is there.
Mm.
Meditation is key. I mean, what better than asking you as a doctor what could
Yeah.
we do in terms of health? But this is what I've started doing. I've started exercising. I've started doing um meditation. I'm compiling all my data into one platform so I can use it effectively now for my next campaign when it starts.
Mm.
Uh, Eating healthy is something what me and my wife and my kids have now finally decided to do. Because once what happens is once we start consuming all the negative energy from the media and from everywhere, how many deaths have happened, or my close friend's father died or something, and it's very sad that it's happening. But at the end of the day, when you consume all this negative energy inside you, you
Mm.
start getting depressed and you start eating junk food.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
one sort of relieving your mental pressure is by eating. So I started eating a lot of junk food. I started eating a lot of chips, a lot of processed food, and then I stopped because I was getting unhealthy. So I said, you know what, this has to stop. So now all my family members, including myself, we start concentrating on more of salads, more of green vegetables, fruits, fresh food. Cook a little food, but consume it. Don't store it.
Okay. And
So
yeah, and I think that's very good point you brought, that stress brings lot of comfort food, and people go into this mode where they eat lot of carbs, and then they try to comfort them, junk food. And I think you learned very, that's a key point for our lifestyle coaching, that we want to make sure people understand that you can eat healthy food too, actually. So some of the example would I personally do is use cucumbers instead of chips. So you can use green veggies instead of your chips or fries. So stay away from fried food and just you know learn to take those and incorporate that. I think you have a great point, that if you're doing exercise once a day, why not twice a day, right? And you can split it. You don't need to do exercise all at once. Okay.
yes,
So you can do multiple, and actually if you do that, and if you do a little bit meditation or yoga in between, or scattered throughout day, then you see that you don't have to have time 2 hours to gym or 2 hours for this and zero time for home, right? So that was my problem too, that I used to have, uh, to maintain my lifestyle. I would say, okay, 2 hours I would do on treadmill or whatever gym. But then my wife said, okay, what, you are there 2 hours, what time left you have for us, So which is probably zero, right? So you
Right.
have to put all these exercises in between, and I think you're doing perfectly. In terms, I really appreciate that you are sharing with the audience how you learn to concentrate on your health, because you can fix your health, and that is a big equity for years to come, right? So you're concentrating on exercise, you're eating healthy, and I see that you have a lot of videos about, also you're sharing exercise challenge to different. Tell us about that.
So, when I started doing exercise, I thought, why not to encourage others to do the same? So I started a push-up challenge.
Yeah.
So I have a challenge where you do at least first it was 25, and then when I saw women also getting motivated and they were doing push-ups, so I did 15 to 25. At least do 15 to 25 push-ups at one stretch.
Mm,
Make a video, post it on Facebook, and then challenge three more friends.
mm,
So this way the chain continues and people keep on doing things. So what happens is, if let's say I'm not in a habit of doing a push-up, so when I say, oh, my friend is doing 25 push-up, maybe I can try about at least five. And they do it. And now they start getting the hang of, okay, let me do it every day. So
mm,
hopefully they will start doing an exercise, because it's always the first push a person needs to
mm,
start exercising.
mm,
Once you do it for the first few days, you
mm.
get into a habit of it.
And I think that's a great thing, that you can use this opportunity to pay attention to health, and which you're doing fantastic job. What about, um, uh, other thing is, I always say, this is physical distancing, yes, but not emotional distance. So pay attention to neighbors, pay attention to your loved ones and your family friends, so you can still keep in touch with them, and
Yes.
making sure that they are taken care. If they need anything, help them. Yeah.
And
But
one thing which I'm doing constantly, which I would request everyone who's watching us, if your parents do not live with you, and they are living in a different country, like my parents live in India,
mhm,
one thing I've done is call them every single day,
mm,
and that's what they want. Obviously, you cannot go there physically, and you can at least be with them over the phone. Like, you have all the time in your life right now.
mm,
Strengthen your bonds with your family, with your cousins, with your friends, with your family, with your kids. You have not paid attention to your kids that much. This is the time to strengthen all your bonds with your families and friends, so that you can become more closer. I didn't know so many things about my son. I didn't know so many things about my kids, which I'm learning now.
mm,
So this is uh, like, sometimes they say we had to stop. We were running. We were running without a head. There was a constant race going on, which uh, which we didn't even know where the finish line is. Frankly speaking, we were
yeah.
running constantly,
Mm,
and we were trying to beat each other up. But God has given us an opportunity to stop
mm,
and think. So
mm,
this is the right moment to stop and think and rectify our mistakes and rectify ourselves, change ourselves.
mm.
Something, I think, if we do this now, if we can't do this now, it's never going to happen. This is the first and the last opportunity we can get.
And that is true. So the best defense we have against COVID-19 is actually health. A lot of studies are saying number one reasons, it's for complications, is actually obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and all those are actually related big time to what we eat. So pay attention to what you eat, and that is the big message from this talk. Also, yes, this is a difficult time, but remember, you can put this time to build your relationships, or relook what we were doing, maybe rethink what we were doing. Was that the right thing? Or maybe we thought it was right, but there is a better way of doing things. Actually, if you I'm sure you have heard about pollution in India, in Pakistan, in all these countries, even here, traffic, everything is way better. I was reading in Italy, the lakes are so clear, water is so clear.
Yep.
In Venice, that the it is they can see fish, they can really appreciate all that. So there are good things happening. Sure, it is sad in terms of deaths, and in terms of people dying, and which is really makes anyone sad. But we really feel sad about all those deaths. But we also look that we are gonna help each other, and we're gonna survive this difficult time, because
And the
it's
other thing which came out from all this was the hygiene part of it.
yeah.
So, when we go to a restaurant, when we go to any place, above the sink, it's written, employees must wash their hands.
Hmm.
Sometimes people would laugh on that small one sentence line, but
Yeah.
that's so important. So, the importance of keeping yourself hygienically clean, and the importance of hygiene is being stressed out by this COVID-19 situation. So you will see a lot of people getting more hygienic. So people would be washing their hands more frequently, using sanitizer more frequently. If someone is coughing, they will always cover their mouth by not by their hands, but by their elbow. So there are so many things people will learn. So hygiene would be something which would be really, really important now. After this situation is over, people will go back into their normal life, but they will not forget these things to be more hygienic. I have some statistics over here, which is very interesting, and I would like to share with
Sure.
the
Sure.
viewers. And it is the source is the statista.com. It's a website, and so they've given some statistics between China, Germany, UK, and United States,
Hmm.
major countries in the world. So, how many percentage of people stayed at home? China was 69, Germany 74, UK 85, and United States 82%. People are staying at home. Wash hands more. How many people are washing hands more? In China, it's 74%, Germany 74, United Kingdom 78, UK, United States it's 79%. So there's a lot of good things which has come. Travel less, for example, 56% in China was traveling less. They were still traveling though. Germany 50%, 72 in UK, and 59 in United States. They're wearing protective face masks, 76 in China. Germany and UK was very less. Germany was 26%, UK only 12%, but United States was 55%. So there is a lot of statistics on this thing, which people were doing good things in US, though it came late, but we followed it up quickly. Um,
Yeah.
so also, if I may add more, the consumer who stockpile food. So we have big houses, but so it's very convenient for us to stock food.
Mhm.
But the number one country who stocked food was China.
Mhm.
The second
Oh.
country, and you'll be amazed, is India. Third, Vietnam, and fourth is US
Oh.
in stocking. And the sources from again back is it's statistia.com, and if you go and Google search it, you will find those statistics over there. So these countries are piling up food, stocking up food. So we are fourth in the um, race. First is China, second India, third Vietnam, and fourth US. And then comes Canada, Italy, Germany, Australia, UK, France.
Yeah.
But we are fourth in number. Um, so that way, resource wise, we are all there. I think this is a time for us to concentrate on our health, on ourself, on our relationship, hygiene. And, once we go out of this situation, we will be back uh, in terms of finances also. Now, a lot of people have been hit financially. I understand there's a stress level to that.
Yeah. So thank you, Manish. It was great to talk to you, and we learned a lot. So final tips will be making sure we spread the love, and we have each other as human beings. There is no other species that will help us. It's us only. And so if we don't realize that, then it can be too late. So spread the love, help each other, and we'll get through this together. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Manish.
so much.
Thank
Thank